Hi, I'm Lisa Wold. I am the creator, the designer, and the manufacturer of this, the piano bench. I call it the piano bench because, well, a piano bench is necessary for pianists to sit and play the piano, and it holds our music books. In this case, the piano bench is necessary for piano teachers to teach piano with because we have those abstract music concepts that are often very difficult to teach. And it holds the teaching tools that we use to teach music with. I've designed it in such a way that even 5- and 6-year-olds can understand those abstract music concepts. I would never teach without it because it makes teaching so much easier and it makes learning easier. It's a must-have for every piano teacher, I think, and so it's a win-win all around. First, I'll show you my patent. There it is. Here are some of the pictures. I want to show you some of those tools. Here's the bag. It's a messenger bag that's made out of canvas. There's a large pocket, and this is the teaching manual. Table of contents. This is all 25 activities. They're detailed on every page. Plus there's a video on every page. You can scan and watch how to do it, which I've videoed every activity. Just briefly scan through some of the pages. This is a laminated book, by the way. Gives you an idea. Then also in the large pocket is the puzzle mat. And this just lays out on a table. This is the table that I use. I have my kit always laid out in front of the students so that they can always go to the table, do whatever activity we're going to do. So I always leave mine out at all times. The kids like to put the puzzle mats together if it happens to be in the kit. And the pieces that are on the puzzle mats do not slide around. Then out comes the large and small boxes of each system. This is the small box of the rhythm and composition collection, which contain all the pieces that teach the rhythm. I use them to teach composition with as well. Then out comes the small box and the large box of the system I call Staff and Keys Collection, which is what I use to teach reading music. Also in the large pocket are the 2 racket balls. I use racket balls to teach rhythm with the metronome. Very successful way to teach rhythm to students as young as 5 and 6. We learn all the rhythms with my method. Then there are 2 small pockets. This has the treble and the bass clef. This side, there are 2 gloves and a Sharpie that we write the finger numbers on. And then you put the gloves on, which aids in learning finger numbers. In the back pocket, which is zippered, there's the circle of fifths. Here we go. And this can stay on the music rack on your piano, by the way. These are charts, which can also stay on the music chart on your piano. The rhythm ball exercise chart. These are rhythm charts. This one's upside down. Front and back show compound and simple meter rhythms. This chart shows how to put everything back in the boxes. This chart shows all of the activities in the order that they would be taught in my lesson books. By the way, this chart shows the real names of the rhythms. By the way, this piano bench can be used with your teaching books, whatever books you're using, or with my teaching books that I have called Piano Keys, books 1, 2, and 3. This is, so that is what is inside the piano bench. I will show you just a few activities real quick. These are the piano key. These are just a few of the piano keys that can be laid out here on the piano, on the puzzle mat. They have the alphabet letters on them, music alphabet. You lay them out in alphabetical order, of course. Once the child learns the musical alphabet, of course, then these, I call them interval squares. They are colorful squares. There's 7 colors, and then they put each color coincides with a particular letter on the alphabet, and I call that colorful keys. For example, the yellows, they cover all the A's with the yellow key, with the yellow square. Pinks are to cover the C's with. Reds are to cover the E's with, and so forth. That's called colorful keys. That's a hit with all young students. They want to do that all the time. Another activity with that you use the next to the keys when you're starting to read music. Well, I'm getting ahead of myself here. Before reading music, I do get extensively into the rhythms. Okay. In my method, we have the 1 beat is 1 inch. Here we go. So 1 beat is 1 inch, so the quarter note is 1 beat. Then the half note is 2 beats. Therefore, the whole note is 4 beats. And then that leads us to compound and simple meter. So this is the easiest way to teach compound and simple meter that there is on the planet, which is why I got my patent. They love it. My compound meter pieces are cherry wood, solid cherry, by the way, and solid maple is the simple meter pieces. Notice the size of the font for compound, simple. So it's easy to teach because then they can see that the compound meter doubles in size. So I'm going to show you the 8th note. In simple meter, see, is a half of an inch. And in compound meter, it's 1 inch, so it's the beat. So it's really easy to teach this way. Look at the quarter note. Look what happens to the quarter note in compound meter. So this is why it's so easy to teach compound meter. This is the dotted quarter note. See. Okay, moving along here, we have the spaces of the staff. They have the letters of the spaces. There's 8 of these, of course, plus B and C next to middle C. And then there's the lines, which have the letters engraved as well. I do all the engraving and all the making of all these materials in my laser engraver. And there are 10 lines. So they line the spaces and the lines next to the keys. And then so that's the grand staff, which is lined up next to the keys. Once that is done, then they can put these notes, these acrylic notes on any line or space that they've just built on their grand staff, on a line or a space. So then they see that note is on a line or a space next to the key on the puzzle mat. It makes a lot more sense than a page of music up on the music rack. That's kind of disassociated. This way they can see it, they can touch it, they can move it. Then they go play that key on the piano, and then they can make the connection of, oh yeah, that makes sense. And then they can put another key. There are quarter notes, there are 8th notes, Then there are also whole notes here and half notes, all the different acrylic notes that you can use on the grand staff. Also, when you get into whole steps and half steps, then there's a H for half step, so you can teach half steps and whole steps like this, and you can put them on the white keys. There's the whole step. 2 half steps is a whole step, but first you put the black keys in the white keys. You can see that the black key has the enharmonic spellings etched, D flat, C sharp, and so forth on all the black keys. They like to line these up in between all the white keys, and that is what you're going to use when you're teaching whole steps and half steps. Another thing I do when I'm teaching composition is I use these for slurs, repeats, dynamics, mezzo piano, forte. Oh, these are bar lines and a double bar, and they write that. Well, they put the rhythm and make rhythm rows on the puzzle mat, and then we write the rhythm rows on a piece of paper and bring that piece of paper to the piano, and they play the rhythms on their fingers with the metronome ticking, so they keep the rhythm going, and they just play each rhythm in each successive finger without worrying about lines and spaces. They're just basically playing their rhythms in their fingers, and that's not reading music, but that is playing their rhythms in their fingers on the keys. So that's their compositions, and they're doing that before they read music. So they do that extensively to get them used to playing the piano and making music, and they really love those. So those are rhythm rows. Oh yes, one more thing. There are 14 acrylic flats and 14 acrylic sharps that the students can do their key signatures. They can put their key signatures on the grand staff on the puzzle mat, and they can take them off and put them on or whatever. And then there's also naturals that you can manipulate and do whatever you want with. Okay, so that is it. I think every piano teacher should get one of these. Teaching is so much easier with it. Thanks for listening. Bye.